right, welcome back.
Welcome back.
We have a new name.
The Us Unfiltered podcast. I love it. We finally have a name. You have to let us know what you think because I personally love it.
I like Dave and Janie, but
I know, but
I have no say in my relationship.
Oh my gosh.
So, we're going to talk about our recent trip
to Disney.
We went to Disney.
We have two different opinions on this trip.
No, we don't have two different opinions.
My opinion was that I loved every second of it. It was so much fun.
I think the kids were well behaved.
Yeah.
I think the kids had a blast. I think the amount of stuff we did was very good. Like we got a ton done.
Yeah.
But I don't like Disney. I will continue to not like Disney.
It's hard because it's not a relaxing, like I am not the type of person that goes on vacation. Like I get bored so easily. So if we go and like sit by a pool and have a drink, like after a half hour, I'm like, all right, what
can we do?
Yeah. What can we do? Like I want to go do something. I want to go rides. I want to explore somewhere. Like, and you're the type of person that can
look, because
chill out.
I'm like that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week where you're the total opposite. So like vacation to me is supposed to be a recharge, but my vacations are no longer recharges.
I mean, when you're vacationing with the kids, what's that saying? Like a vacation with the kids is a family trip.
It's a trip.
And without kids, it's a vacation.
Without kids, it's a vacation.
So, but like we jam-packed so much in. First, I have to thank Rachel, who we used for booking.
Great.
She did everything. She was on top of it, like texting me, calling me, made sure we had everything. She arranged stroller to be dropped off at a resort, car pickup, reservations. Yeah. And with Disney, if you're planning a Disney trip, you have to plan everything. You need reservations for a lot of places, like especially if you want to do character meals or like family dinners and you have a bigger family, you need reservations because a lot of
thing too is there's 6 of us.
Yeah, like if it's just like maybe 3 of you, where it's just you and like one child, then I don't think it would be as hard.
No. So 6 people's tough. And then my sister actually came down from South Carolina.
I always forget.
South Carolina. She drove down and met us, and then there was 9 of us. And 9's tough.
9's definitely tough, but we made it work. Like we went to Disney Springs and we were able to.
Yes, we were able to have fun and we were able to find a place to eat.
Yeah.
And that brings up another thing. Other people are so ignorant at Disney. I don't do well around people like this. I am very soft-spoken.
You are not soft-spoken.
Hold on. I'm non-confrontational. I may be loud and I may be like very social and very upbeat, which you can't really tell from any of the stuff that we do, but I am. But I'm pretty non-confrontational for the most part. However, if you step out of your lane into my lane, which is my family, which is me, then I don't know how to control myself.
So I'll just explain what happened. You're talking about Disney Springs dining situation?
That, or when we were walking.
So when we were in Disney Springs, it was Saturday night. It was busy. We went to Cooks of Dublin. It was like a quick service meal. There was 9 of us. So Dave and his sister and the kids were all at the Lego store. I got there ahead of time with Ava and Peter. And so I was waiting. So I see this table that fit 6, because most of the tables only fit like 2 or 4. And this family was eating, but I was just like, oh, I'll stand back a little and I'll wait till they get up, because I didn't want them to think I was just like hovering over. But I was waiting for Dave anyway to get over, and like they didn't even notice. But then when they started cleaning up their food, I got a little closer, and this lady, she even asked me, she was like, oh, do you want this table? And I was like, oh yeah, like yeah, thank you, like no rush, whatever. She was so nice. And so Ava starts freaking out because she's starving.
Yep.
So Peter's there and the stroller's there. And at this point, Nico was also there, I think, right? Yeah, Nico was also there. So I'm like, as soon as they get up, just put your stuff. So I put my stroller a little closer. They're waiting right outside. I went in to order from the quick service just to place my order because Ava was starving and screaming, crying. And when I come back out, I see the boys go to like put this stuff on the table, and this other lady like swarms in and goes to put her drink cup down. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, we were actually waiting for this table. And she was just like, well, I don't see you. Like, she's like, I don't see you sitting here. And I was just like, huh? And then I was like, you didn't see my son right behind you waiting with the stroller? And she was just like, why didn't he say anything? And I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe because he's 12. And I was just like, I didn't even know what to say. And I was just like, well, I'm sorry, we were waiting for it. So I put my stuff down. I told the boys, I was like, put your stuff down, like whatever, this lady can just go. So then I walk back inside to like grab our food, and my son tells me, and meanwhile, this lady's there with her family.
Oh, yeah.
My 12-year-old comes up to me and he's like, yeah, Mom, when you walked back inside, she went behind me and she said to her husband, like about him, she's like, well, why the F isn't he saying anything? And I was like, excuse, like, you're gonna, like, it's freaking Disney World. Like, if you have something to say it to me, but why would you say it to a child?
A 12-year-old.
Yeah, like, it was just, and he didn't say anything because what is he supposed to do? Be like,
look, and that's not his job to say anything.
So then we sit down and they are staring at us like, meanwhile, it was like them. I think they had one kid and it was all adults. And we are like we have young kids that we're trying to like sit and feed. Dave's standing, I'm standing because there's not enough chairs.
Yeah.
And this woman and her husband are just glazing, like glaring.
So so again, I am very protective over my family. And when Peter told me that, my blood boiled a lot because like, yes, Peter is my stepson, but I live with Peter 26 days a month. He's my son. And nobody talks to my kids like that but me. So I am now like, my blood is boiling. My face is red. I'm huffing and puffing because that's what I do when I get angry. And all of a sudden, she stands up, talking to someone at her table, and then points at us. Mistake number one. Don't fucking point at me. Excuse me. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
Don't point at me. So all that did was just open the door for me to stand up and essentially...
tell her to sit back down.
Yeah, pretty much. I said, for lack of a better term, I said some things that you probably shouldn't say in public. However, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. That's my family. I will talk to my children the way I want to talk to my children. However, I love my children and I can do that. But the minute you point at my son or point at me or my wife or anyone in my family, I don't care who you are. I don't care what I do for a living. I don't care. I will protect my family. I don't care.
But, and it all literally could have been avoided if, like, when I first got there, if she could have been like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there.
Yeah.
Like, that's happened to me where I was about to go up to a table and someone's like, oh, I'm going to sit here. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, it's Disney. It's a madhouse. Like, there's no need to be rude. And, like, of course, we saw people walking. So when we're about to get up, I saw a family with young children. And I'm like, hey, we're about to leave. Do you want these seats? Like, there's no need to be rude about it.
Yeah. It's the most wonderful place on earth, they say, except every Disney adult is an asshole.
No, not all of them.
Yeah.
But then, Dave, this I don't agree with, though. Then, I have mixed feelings because we were at the park and Dave cursed. He was talking to us, like, and he wasn't cursing at us. He was just like talking, and Dave curses a lot when he
curse. I don't. I use it as common language.
Yeah, and we're walking, like, we're not waiting on a line. We're literally walking, and I didn't even, like, I feel like it doesn't even register in my head when he curses sometimes because it's just like an adjective for him.
And the problem is it makes me seem uneducated because I don't have better verbiage to use. Although I'm very smart, I just choose to use lazy words like swear words in place of words that are, of other things. Like I'm not an unintelligent person. However, I use them emphatically, almost as if I need to, like, make what I'm saying more assertive.
Yeah.
So.
But this lady, literally, we're walking. She turned around so quick, and she was like, "Can you not talk like that?"
And I was like, "Excuse me?"
And I was taken back too because I'm like, is she talking to us? Like,
I
what?
didn't know what was going on. I looked around a little bit and I was like, excuse me? This is how the altercation went. She looks at me, she goes, my granddaughter heard you and your bad mouth and you shouldn't talk like that so my granddaughter doesn't hear it. I said, you should mind your own fucking business.
Yeah, that was the part I didn't agree with.
I don't care.
I kept
At this point, she opened the door and I kicked it the fuck in.
Yeah.
She goes, and I said, the only reason your granddaughter heard anything was because you opened your big fucking mouth. And then I walked away.
Yeah.
First off, I don't feel tough or like, I don't believe in belittling, and not to say that women aren't strong in any sense of the world, but I was raised that you cherish a woman, you praise a woman, and that's how I am. However, I was not seeking out attention from anyone. I was not seeking out anger from anyone. But the minute you sit there and try to belittle me when I'm a perfect stranger to you, you are not a woman. You are a fucking animal. And I will treat you like an animal.
It was definitely a little unnecessary on her part. And I get it. Like, he was just hot and bothered.
I was talking to my son.
Yeah.
I was talking to my son, and she felt the need to butt in and put her 2 cents in because I don't know what the reason is. I don't know where people get off thinking that they can sit there and just, like, when did minding your own business go out the window?
Yeah. And it wouldn't have even, like, the thing is, it wouldn't have even been a thing if, like, she just didn't, like, the way she jerked back. But
she said to me, hey, could you do me a favor and not, not use that language around my
I feel like you would have been like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I said that.
I would have been like, I'm so sorry. Sometimes I don't even realize I use those words. I apologize. I'm very apologetic. I'm very kind and I'm very understanding. But talk to me like I'm a piece of shit and I'm going to treat you like a piece of shit because you get what you give in life. If you don't give respect, you don't get respect. And again, I would never talk like, I don't believe in talking to my elders like that. I'm still terrified to talk to my mother in any other way, loving, like, but that's how I was raised. I was raised that way. I don't go out of I've never talked down to my wife. I have a high tone that makes it feel like that, but that's just me, how I talk. But I would never yell at my wife. I don't yell. When we argue, I argue with myself 99% of the time.
I shut down.
I've never yelled at my wife. I don't believe in that.
No.
I don't believe in hitting women, which if you're a man and you hit women, you're not a man in my eyes. You're a sissy. You're like a pansy. Because if you feel tough hitting a woman, bro, come at me. You want to hit somebody, come to me. Because I will embarrass you and make you feel so little that the fact that you think that hitting a woman is okay is a joke to me. It's a joke to me. But regardless.
We got so off topic.
Well, I know, but because I'm trying to see like I don't look for that. Like, I would never go out of my way to step into somebody else's lane and be like, hey, you shouldn't, don't talk like that so I don't have to hear it. No, like, hey, could you be a little more mindful of what you're saying? I have my granddaughter here with me. And I would have been like, I'm so sorry. I apologize completely. I am not an animal, but don't talk to me like I don't exist. Like, I don't appreciate rudeness. I don't give rudeness, so I don't appreciate it. Like, it's not right. And that literally, that whole day was ruined for me.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
But yeah, back to Disney. I just feel like people are on edge. They're overwhelmed. You're dealing with cranky kids.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Dave even said it. He was like, I was so overstimulated.
One day, yeah. Yeah, I was overstimulated the whole time.
Even the kids are like overstimulated. And so I want to talk about this because Rachel, our wonderful travel agent, doesn't even know this yet. But she went above and beyond to get
she did great.
My Little Princess into the Bippity Boppity Boutique.
I feel so bad.
And this is all I wanted. And we were trying so hard to get reservations. And I'm like, everyone says I have to bring my daughter there. Like, you need to get us in. And she was like, I will try. She made like a special phone call somehow.
Oh, yeah.
And we weren't even on the reservations. Like, they put like a side note to just like let us in. Like, I don't know what magic she worked.
Oh, yeah. She's great. She is great. She pulled strings that she shouldn't have.
But the problem is the reservation was for 1:30. We got to Magic Kingdom at what, 8 a.m.?
7:45.
Yeah, really early. And so now it's 1:30. Ava has not napped. We just finished. We went on all the rides. We had lunch. And so we get to the Boppity Boutique. We were all burnt out and exhausted. The boys were being such troopers.
They were.
Because I said to Dave's like, do we have to do this? I'm like, yes. And he's like, I want to go back to the pool. And I'm like, so good. So go take I was aggravated. I'm like, take the boys back, go to the pool. And they could see I was aggravated. And they're like, no, we want to stay with Ava. They were being such troopers.
Yeah.
Packed in this place. We go in.
She's missing one little part. Our daughter.
Well, because you said it. I know what you're going to say. Dave was like, Ava, don't you want to go to the pool? And
No, what I said was, do you want to try on dresses and get dressed up like a princess? Or do you want to go back to the pool? And what did your daughter say?
She's like, I want to go to the pool.
I want to go to the pool.
And I'm like, we made these freaking reservations, cost an arm and a leg to get into this place. So I was like, whatever, let's just try it. So then Dave came around and he was like, all right, well, let's just try it. Because he saw I was getting upset because I'm like, everyone told me. And I feel like I've waited my whole life to have a little girl. I just waited for this moment. And I'm like, she loves princesses. She could get dressed up. She
loves princesses.
Yeah. And I was like, it's going to be the cutest thing. So we go in, we finally get her in. It's like everything you do is a waiting process. Check in, wait for 15 minutes. They let you in the other room, wait for 15 minutes. And
yeah, you're hurrying up to wait.
Yeah. And the girl's like, this is going to be a 90-minute experience.
Yeah, from there. And this is now, we're at almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Our daughter, first off, we get to Disney the night before. We get up super early. We did the lunch with the princesses. We went on 6 different rides. We walked through the park. It's a little warmer, right?
Yeah.
And then, we sit there and try to have her unwind. She's already cranky. She's exhausted. It's day 1. We've already done so much. So what happens?
So we get her, there's tons of dresses. And she picks out this pink dress, which is beautiful because she loves Aurora. I think that was the Aurora dress.
It was the Aurora dress.
So we get, and then they bring you into the changing room where the fairy godmother comes on the screen and she's doing okay. At this point, she's doing okay. Put on the dress on her. We go out and then we go back out into the crowded room with everyone else. There's other girls in a blue dress, yellow dress. There's Tinkerbell. And she's like, I don't think I want this dress anymore. Meanwhile, we took the tags off. We already paid $225 for this experience and this dress. The dress was $200 of that.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah.
So, and now we have to wait for her to get her hair and her nails, and they do glitter or something. They do
they do this whole big thing.
Yeah. And then I guess I don't know, at the end, if you take pictures with Princess, I don't know what. So she is laying on the floor throwing a temper tantrum that she doesn't want this dress. So one of the workers comes over and was so nice. And she's like, I have Cinderella stickers that are blue, like the blue dress you're looking at. And Ava was like, no, I don't want them. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm trying to console her and I'm telling her dress is beautiful. And then I looked at Dave and I'm like, we got to get out of here. We just got
We actually filmed a TikTok while we were there. And this was a very impromptu TikTok with her having a full-blown meltdown on the ground, and there was mixed feelings about it.
Well, people didn't realize the backstory. So Dave filmed me sitting on it because I was the one that was like, no, we're doing this. We're going in there. I knew going in there that everyone was exhausted and tired, but I still wanted to do this. So Dave filmed me sitting on the floor while she's sitting next to me, and I'm just trying to console her. And he's just like, are you happy we did this? And so people they didn't see
no, well, they never, very rarely do. But the funny part was even our daughter was
done.
She was vocal. She was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
However, and I'll give my wife, she went over and talked to the girl and be like, I'm so sorry. Is there any way we can get a refund? My daughter is having a meltdown and she doesn't want to do this anymore. Now, you heard me before, I'm not a Disney person, right? These Disney, what do they call them? Cast members.
Oh, yeah.
They're sweet.
They're so nice.
And they were so understanding, right? And they actually complimented my wife and said, we can see that it could be tough and most parents would try to force their kids to go through it. We really commend you for not trying to force your daughter to do something that she doesn't want, just because you can say that she did it.
Yeah. So they made me feel, because I had that mom guilt. I'm like, is she going to go back to the resort and be like, wait, I wanted to do that? Or everyone else did it. And they all say it's the best experience. now my daughter's not going to get the chance to do it. So I had that mom guilt. So they really made me feel so much better just saying that.
Yeah,
we tried.
Yeah, they were great. And then, you know, we got the unnecessary amount of money that we would have spent on it back. And she was able to still get her she got the wand.
Little wand that she was at. Yeah, because I was like, we got to leave here with something for this girl that's just been put through the ringer.
And then what happened when we left? She got to see the stepsister.
Oh yeah, as soon as we left, that's all she wanted to see. And I heard that they're rare to see in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
The Cinderella stepsister. And when we were leaving for Disney, she said, "Mommy, I want to see them." And sure enough, I freaked out. I pulled Dave's mom does this thing where like she gets really excited and screams.
Screams.
And I pulled a her moment when I saw them. I was like, "Oh my god!"
She's like, starts screaming, "Ava!" And meanwhile, I'm exhausted. Okay, the kids are behind me. I thought something happened. I thought something happened to my daughter because my wife was in front of us and she was looking back at it, and I'm like freaking out now. Right? I'm like in a fog, and then all of a sudden I'm alert. Right? It's just fight or flight at that point. I'm like, "What's going on? And she's like, "The stepsisters." And I looked at her and I'm like, "Are you out of your fucking mind? What is wrong with you?"
Yeah, he was like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Oh God, I gotta wait in line for that."
It's just,
but
like we had talked about. Yeah, it's okay. See, she wants to be involved in the Disney discussion. Yep.
But yeah, Disney. So Disney was a blast. The kids had so much fun.
I have to be honest. The kids were so good.
They were so good.
The best behaved they've ever been.
Because it's a lot for them too. And it's a lot of us shuffling them around. They honestly, my biggest advice if you go to Disney is take time to hang out at the resort. Yes. Book resort stay in between. Leave the parks halfway through and go back to the resort. Yeah. Because the kids, all they want to do is play in the pool. And there's so many things, like there's great restaurants at the resort. There's so many things. They had games and stuff like that they could do. Like the one day Lucas spent all day with that girl doing trivia.
Yeah. Oh, he loved it.
Yeah. And they our resort had like a little beach where you could play with sand toys. So there's you spend so much money on the resort and there is a lot to do there. You don't need to just, I need to tell myself that.
We've done this in the past. This is my last Disney trip for the time being. But it's one of those things where you don't have to force yourself to the parks.
No.
I would say for the 5 days that we went to 3 parks, we were there for a total of 12 hours. Maybe. Yeah. All together. So.
Yeah, all together, definitely.
Yeah. So it's not worth it. You go, you enjoy a couple hours and you go home, or you just enjoy the resort.
So see us at Disney again this time next year.
Never again. Never again.
This time next year.
You right now, never again.
When we're leaving, Dave was like, "I hope you guys enjoyed this trip because it's your last one to Disney." And I was like, "Would you stop?"
No, I'm serious. I am never. Look, I don't care. You want to go? That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I am an adult and I've made a decision in my life that I never want to go there again. The people made me unhappy and uncomfortable, and I don't ever want to go there. I didn't like it from the beginning. It wasn't a trip that I planned. It wasn't a trip I would have chosen. I went because I love you and I appreciate that you worked so hard and got us that for Christmas, and I sucked it up. But those people brought out a side of me that I don't like. It's a person that I am no longer trying to be.
Yeah.
I don't like that person.
I think we should wrap this up here.
That's it. We're done here.
Have a magical day.